Hello and welcome as it is the 29th day of June 2019. My name is Derek. All bets, trades of the like, that's within each's own risk, and it's most certainly within their own reward. I'm talking about silver, gold. I'm even going to get into a little bit of toilet humor at the end of this video and trying to talk about what my view of the dollar really is because to me it is something that should go down the toilet as it is. So I think it becomes a pretty good reference point. Try to do a little bit of South Park style comedy, although I'm not, I do my best. But anyway, silver in at $15.29. Pretty much the exact same price as it was back in 2007 in quarter four when I was first looking at it. And like, oh my goodness, something I should probably get into. The dollar's backed by nothing. It's a fiat debt based system. Debt's guaranteed. I looked at the mathematics upon it. It's guaranteed to create an extensive level of debt. Of course, that depends on how much interest and the frequency of debts and the intensity, which is the interest rates. And of course, I deem both of them to be very, very high. Thus, we have a big debt problem in this world. And people are trying to figure out, oh, why is this the case? Well, why is it that whenever you multiply a number of 5 by 5, that it always comes out as 25? It's because of simple mathematics. But anyway, that's the math on it. The price action's been down for quite some time since now these 2011 highs. Over 8 years since it went way, way, way down from there. And it hasn't done anything to recover. Price action has remained below this 18 average of highs even since the last failed attempt back in 2016. And that now is almost 3 years ago. So there's been a lot of time, sideways consolidation. But to me, it's just a matter of time before this breaks out and really, really goes off. And I've been saying that for a while. I'll continue to say it until it either does or I see reason that it's okay. By the way, the silver trade is off. But I don't see that happening. Like I've stated before, if I got to choose one thing to put in a safe for 10 years from now, even five, and I can't unlock the safe for that time, I'm going to put silver in there. I'm not going to put my private keys for any cryptos. I'm not. Gold is a second one. I'm not going to put any fiat currency or anything else. It's going to be silver. And if I can only choose one thing, now, obviously in choice, I'm going to want to choose a combination of a whole bunch of different things, a bit of gold, a bit of silver, a bit of Bitcoin, a bit of Litecoin, a bit of all that stuff. But if I can only choose one thing, it would be silver. And the reason why I would choose Bitcoin and Litecoin is I know I already got silver and gold to back me up in case it becomes worthless. And in 5, 10 years, that could easily be the case. I never do see that to be the case with such in this commodity. It's been a long waiting game and it might continue to be a little bit more, and I hope it is a bit more. I got these lines in here. Fibonacci upside from 4. What do you take as? It's simple calculation. I did this years and years ago, so I decided to put them back on. 8 subtract 4, which was the range that this traded in for quite some time, and you can't see it as well on here. But this was the range basically throughout the 1980s and 90s and into the up until the end of 2005. And that was a big range. So I take the differential of a range, which is $4 on the bottom range, and then I multiply it by the percentages of Fibonacci 1.618 to 2.36, 4.23, and they go up 6.85 and 1109 after that. That's 11.09. So, and then of course I take the and then I add it again from the low, and these are what the numbers are. All five of these have most certainly turned out to play, but there wasn't resistance here. No, what happens if you don't get resistance? Fast move to the next level, and well, that was where it resisted. And then it breaks out and it resists. I know I don't got the line covering it, but this resistance was this within this high. Doesn't support this line, goes to this level. And then it tangles in here for a bit. And then after resisting a pierce below, it broke this level, found a little bit of resistance here, not really, and then tops this one. Supports in here very phenomenally, piercing above and below. Then it supports and resists this level here. Supports, resist, and supporting. It's just been phenomenal. But when these things go, you're just going to see it go through line, 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 line after that whenever it's ready to do so. And the more often markets get suppressed over a larger period of time, the more aggressive that I think the move is going to be. Now, when we look at shorter term technical analysis within the markets in here, obviously on the monthly term, it's just well depressed. And on the weekly term time frame, it's choppily at the bottom end of this range. So none of that just tells to me, or it says or speaks volumes at how really cheap the price of silver really is, especially at this point. And when we compare this to the price of gold, and it's in at a little over 1400, and when we look at its weekly and monthly time frame, it's not in a choppy weekly chart. No, all it's doing is it's breaking a neckline. This many hits period. This is a strong setup. Most likely silver's going to follow suit short term, but I think early on fall as far as percentage movements. So within the monthly move here on gold, it was an extremely outstanding month. It was up 7.9%, definitely overperforming silver. And I would expect that it's going to be the same case here in July. Another large green candle up, continuation. One that might even be larger. I think a conservative level is that we reach 1550 next month. And I wouldn't be surprised if it even really exceeds that, especially because I think it's going to blow the gold to silver ratio in the short term uh, out of the ballpark as far as going high. But as much as close or as close to or as greater above 100 the ratio will be, I still think it's going to go below 10 in time. But that 10 number I think will be a well, long ways away into the next decade. So that is the general analysis upon such, and into the toilet humor a little bit, because let's go back to silver because that's what I want to reference. And this $50 level, which never did hit 50, it was $49.81. So it did hit 50 for a few hours or minutes on one of the 2 days back in the, I think it was second or third week of January 20, that's 20, 1980. Yeah, it's been about 40 years um, since it's hit $50 before. Again, another reason to state how cheap this market is. Because if I could show you data before then, and I could, and I have in the past, then it would even look even more strong. But what's the chances that we go the next 80 years in 6 months? 80 years in 6 months, or the end of this millennium, century, 21st century. What's the chance we go the rest of the century without ever even seeing a $50 price point? The whole 21st century without a $50 price. Hasn't done it yet. And we will do so, of course, in the US dollar. For that to happen, not only does the US dollar have to survive the whole time, but it has to not inflate so badly, and silver has to lose actual real tangible value. Meaning the dollar, if it collapses, it obviously becomes how high does it go before dollar collapses, and how high does silver get as its final price? And of course, if it doesn't, then you're going to have normal inflation. So I would have to think there is like no chance at all that it happens. And because I think there is no chance at all, I have to think there's a microscopically better chance that before this century ends, before December 31st, 2099, the United States will officially announce a holiday entitled Bowel Movement Appreciation Day. I don't know what day this will be on. I don't know if it'll be the first Monday or Friday of a particular day, or what year it will be established. But it'll be a day where people go out picnics, parks, and talk about the national holiday. Okay, when I practiced this, I didn't laugh. But a day with all those cards and all that kind of stuff. To me, that's another no chance that it's going to happen. But in reality, though, I mean, this is why it might have somewhat of a chance. If, say, for example, you were a factory of like 250 people, even 1,000 or whatever, and I know you can't make a national holiday for a country, but maybe you want to make a company holiday. And you're like, okay, on this particular day, maybe the first Monday of October, we want Bowel Movement Appreciation Day. It'll be a paid holiday. So either you vote yes or you no. Either we get it or we don't. And when people look at getting a day off with full pay or getting time and a half plus a holiday working, it would probably get voted upon, I would think. Now, of course, there's no way of knowing. Unless, of course, maybe you are a CEO of a big company, then you could give it a shot, but you probably wouldn't want to. Especially because it would cost your company a lot of money to actually pay people to have a day off. But I would guess that they would actually accept such a proposition if they had a choice to vote on it, meaning 1,420 employees vote on it. Probably over 1,000 of them are going to vote yes. I would if I was working at a company like that. A free day off? I mean, yeah. Okay, so you get my point on the fact that to me, this is like the whole guaranteed market. Why do they do that? I'm just trying to push this X button here. They put it so close. But a guaranteed market to me, and I mean, it's the closest thing should say to that of a guarantee that the tangible value of your real physical silver should not only at least maintain close to your buying value at the time, but almost even, not only even gain value, but even gain it at exponential at peak times. And when I say peak times, that means at high levels, of course. So when I should be saying silver gets up to 2,500, because when it gets past 550, I wouldn't be surprised if it gets to like 200 really quick, 250 in that area. Maybe there'd be a little bit of consolidation, but as far as next key levels, it's almost like 250 and then around 1,000 to 1,200 area on any fast moves. Because that could go from like 250 to 1,200 in 6 months. And of course, time will only tell upon such. But the greatest opportunity for myself is cryptocurrencies. And the old game, if you do the mathematics upon it, let's just assume that you were to put 1 unit. For every 1 unit you put in cryptos. If assume cryptos, right now Bitcoin's at around 12,000. So if they end up, say, in the short term, going up to, say, 60,000, that'd be a 5x move. But if you can trade altcoins and overperform them with a trading strategy, you could do 50 to 100 times better. And if you're doing 50 to 100 times better, that means at $15 silver, even if silver were to shoot up to 100, you'd be buying it cheaper, but it would almost be buying it for like pennies on the dollar. Literally, basically. So that's a strategy for being able to do that. Buying uh, silver for pennies on the dollar or for gold for $20 bills on the dollar, I guess. Because it'd be like buying gold for like 10, $20, silver for like 10 cents. If you could do really good on the markets, of course. It's all about performance based. Now, another thing you could do. Now, this is an immediate one. I mean, you're going to get this. You're going to find out your results immediate. Is you could go out to a slot machine and put everything on number 10 on the roulette wheel. And if you want to change a different number, go right ahead. 17 might work as well. And now it would be like you'd get like something like what, 34 to 1 or something back on it. It'd almost be like getting silver for like, oh, that would be like what, like under 50 cents. That would be cheap. But then, I mean, you could lose everything doing that too. Now, the chances, of course, that you would lose on the roulette wheel is, I think, 37 and 38. Out of 38 times, you would lose 37. And the chances you would lose on the crypto space, well, it's not anywhere near that. But everything's always probability odds and what the chances of something might occur. Knowing the probability odds for something can be almost impossible, or definitely impossible at times, or even it might be impossible to get or approximate probability odds. Obviously, the roulette wheel. That's exact math. There's no denying that. The chances of a coin flip is 50%. The chances of winning 3 coin flips in a row is 12.5%. That's mathematics that you can't dispute. Pending, of course, it's a fair roll, fair flip, and the laws of averages play out. Chances of predicting a card right from a random shuffle deck, the 4 of spades, or any card number you choose. 51 out of 52 times you'll be wrong. 1 out of 52 times you'll be right. The chances that the Toronto Blue Jays score exactly 5 runs tomorrow, I don't want to calculate it, but the best I could do there is get it a close approximation. I can never get the exact odds on such, or anything of that type of get more fancier with your mathematics to calculate it. To figure out the chances of 3 coin flips in a row to be 12.5%, I do 1 divided by 2 to the power of 3. Thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.